morning, good evening, wherever you all are. Oh my gosh, it's so lovely to see everyone. We have quite a few people joining this call tonight, and it will be seamless. They normally join throughout the call. Hopefully, nobody will notice it. I have Jeff Guillot.
You got it.
And he is a veteran guest because, to be honest, I know that if Jeff is on the call, A, I'm going to have an hour of laughs. B, hundreds of people are going to flock to see him because we all love Jeff. And C, it's like not working at all. Getting to meet with that's one of those things about being an audiobook narrator, just getting to hang out with your friends. So if you guys know the spiel, but if you're new to these calls, I it's a conversation between Jeff and I, but if you want to ask any questions or interject anything or comment, please put it in the chat box. I got a second eye on the chat the whole time, and I will tell Jeff, I'll break in at good moments and tell Jeff all your questions. And if there's enough conversation at the end, I will send him the chat after the call so he won't miss anything by not reading it during the call. So, I have Jeff here. We all know Jeff, so we don't really need this big introduction. He's a publisher. We've all reached out to him. He worked for Scribe for years. He's got 16 years experience. He writes, bar none, the best marketing posts on LinkedIn for writers. Like, I would almost write a book just to go to Jeff to get him to produce the thing and publish it. So professional, so welcoming, so honest and straightforward. But Jeff has now founded Lucent Audio, and I want to talk about resilience, doing scary things, the magical side of doing scary things, and Ozzy Osbourne. So let's start with Ozzy Osbourne, because before this call, Jeff had mentioned that Ozzy passing away was a pivotal moment. I think it's fair to say. And I'm not a heavy metal person, but even I loved, I was saying heaven and hell, and it was a certain age, and I was young, and I'd love to unpack what it does to us. And it seems to come in threes as well, but it's an unsettling feeling when people that you grew up watching that felt like mark points of your childhood or teenagedom pass away. And what stories we tell ourselves as well about age and our place in the world and and all that, and what feelings it triggers. And also, doesn't that go to social media and how we are faced with the entire world, every tragedy, every time somebody eats their dinner, in our face 24/7. So tell me about your relationship with Ozzy, Jeff.
That there's a lot to unpack there.
Yep, we got the
I,
floor is yours.
like first, it's great to be back. I always very much enjoy talking with you, and I love coming and chatting. So, this it's great to be back. Ozzy, I'm a music guy, and we've talked a bit about that before, but I very much grew up in the hard rock and heavy metal world. I was influenced by my brother, who's 10 years older. Excuse me. And Ozzy, I play guitar, and Ozzy was just a guy that, I think my musical journey started with Led Zeppelin, and then it was sometime shortly after that I found Ozzy and the guitarists Ozzy played with, Randy Rhoads, Jakey Lee, Zach Wild, just incredible, incredible musicians. So Ozzy has been a part of my life from an early age. Once my mom sort of let me listen to it because she was a little strict when it came to some things, but up
All the
through
devil
present.
worship kind of, I
Yeah,
don't know
right.
why parents got triggered by that.
I get it. It's such good tunes, but I never stopped listening to him. So like Ozzy has been with me every step of the way and is still with me even after his passing. Is same with Led Zeppelin. It's just music that it's always on the playlist. It's always part of my life. But certainly when those alerts started coming that he passed away, like it hit like this was a friend. This was like a close friend that had passed away. And I was sitting right here and I had to get up and take a minute and there were some tears that were shed and it was like I'm still going through the Ozzy grief. Like I'm still feeling that.
But what about and this wasn't where I planned on talking about resilience, but I wonder with everything going on in the world and the nature of the world, social media and everything, and um, we get the inevitable. I remember my father before he passed away was he was really shaking because he was like always had best friends, like 6 or 7 Italian men sitting around our dinner table the entire time we grew up. And they started dying one by one. He got really, really depressed. And I think like you get like when little bits, it feels like little bits of your world are taken away, things that mattered to you, things that represent. How do you shield yourself from that? Because we can't just be an open, do you know what I mean? It's like, how do we protect ourselves?
I don't I don't think it's about shielding yourself. And I think I learned that when my mom passed away, and I really did not take the time to grieve that at all. And a lot of that had to do with my work situation. If it was not for my wife, I don't know how I would have gotten through any of that. It was a mess, but I don't think I ever truly grieved. But coming out of that and then going through therapy and learning how to grieve and learning about grief, I think ultimately it's important to feel whatever it is you're feeling when these things happen. Don't bottle it up. Don't pretend you're not feeling them. Acknowledge it, feel it, sit with it, think about it, talk about it.
Oh
Uh,
God, do you really do that? I mean, I know you're supposed to, but do you really do that?
yeah,
I find
yeah.
it horrifying.
I will talk to my wife about anything that I'm feeling. Perhaps sometimes she might say too much, but um, it really like if you gotta process it. You gotta process it. If you keep it in, bad shit happens.
Yeah. But then I think of those ladies, those old ladies in New York City, you see them on the internet, the ones with the big glasses and the gorgeous outfits, rollerblading down New York. And you think they've lost people, they've lost husbands, but somehow I think they've managed to hold on to the joy of I'm really, after this summer, I did my whole flat maximalist. Like we're talking a massive dopamine hit. Like you walk in, it does something to your brain. It's like full on. But and I haven't done anything in a really long time for the joy of joy. So, and I think you do that as well, naturally, don't you? Because you're the one that jumps out of planes and does the adrenaline hit. Do you have a good balance of that, finding
I
joy as well?
yeah, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I think moving to Texas would like my life changed in a lot of ways when I moved to Texas, and I lost a lot of the stuff that I really enjoyed the most, and that has been a struggle like since we got here in 2021. There's no mountains to hike in, there's no ocean to surf in or sit at, and that was the stuff that I loved most about living in LA. Uh, I am very much looking forward to moving out of Texas, but to 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 give you a more of a better response, not better, but to dig in more than that, I think it's you. I was talking with my therapist about this because I had this weird thing that happened about a year ago in which this was when I was still with Scribe. I had a sales call with an author, and she was an adult. She lived in Hawaii, and she had been trying to kill herself since she was 9 years old. And at the same time, somebody in my life had expressed to me that they had been considering killing themselves.
Wait, did she say it on the call? This was like a business call and
Well,
she was
she
talking
she,
about,
she called to get a quote for an audiobook production, and I I wound up talking to her for an hour and a half just because, that's who I am. And it felt like she was trying to vent about some stuff. And it wasn't about to just, send her on her way. I mean, her life is not my responsibility,
But
but
do
I
you
also,
soak up that energy? Do
I,
you not feel the burden of that energy after that?
I think like to some extent, no, but yes. Because like what happened here was there were ultimately three people all at the same time telling me they wanted to kill themselves, and that got a little bit much. This got dark quick. I like it.
I
But
think it's
but
good.
yeah,
The thing is all the light stuff is in our faces. Again, social
yeah,
media, 24 hours a day. There's nowhere else we can go except dark. I think we need meaning. And
yeah.
why waste real conversation on the light stuff anymore?
I like that. So
Yeah.
we'll keep going with it.
Yeah.
So I go to my therapist and I'm talking about all these different people that have expressed to me that they're trying to kill themselves. And one of them was a stranger, and one of them was a close friend, and the other was my brother. Well, my brother's friend called and said that my brother was threatening to kill himself.
Oh
He's okay and
God.
he's not. But that was like it was all happening. So I say to my therapist, I'm like, I don't get it from the sense that I have never had a desire to end my life. Like that it just is, and life hasn't been easy. There have been really difficult times. There's going to be really difficult times, but there's always this part of me that knows that things are going to get better. And her response to that was essentially that. It was that there were some people that believe in a better day, that believe it's going to get better, and that's
Yeah.
what pushes us forward. And the problem happens when you lose that belief, or you don't have that belief, and you think it's never going to be better, or it's only going to get worse, and then there's no hope. And I guess there's a part of me, even though I am not a fan of Texas and I don't like living in Texas, I know I'm not going to be in Texas forever. I know I'm going to get back to the ocean. I know I'm going to get back to mountains. I know
Yes. It's
it's,
the external versus the internal.
yeah,
I'm always the same 10-year-old girl that knew that I could do amazing things. I don't care what's happening. And there's a difference between a horrible, because you've been hit, Jeff. You've had quite a few hits. You're very calm and stable right now, but you've been hit left, right, and center since you moved to Texas. And
yeah.
you've stayed calm. It's not like you've had like fairy dust falling on you the whole time. It's been, and, but you're still Jeff. I think that's, you're right. I think it's being in touch with that, having a clean energy and knowledge of who you are, which I guess some people get from faith in religions and all that. You froze for just a moment. I got worried
Sorry.
there. I was
Oh
like,
no,
Jeff.
I had a burp going on. I was trying to hold back.
But
Um,
but yeah, we I think that's the key right there is holding on to that
the hope,
clean,
the
yeah,
yeah,
who
it's
you
good.
are, the
Who you,
faith that you are who you are, and that's what matters.
yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
let's keep living.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I know it's more complicated than that, and I know it's more complicated, but um, it's a difficult conversation because you don't want to downplay other people's feelings. And I'm learning so much now that I'm getting really, really old. I'm learning that like every single person sees things completely differently than I do. Like to the
Yeah.
extent that like we're all living in totally different worlds, really.
Oh, for real. For
Yeah.
real. We absolutely are. Um, Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's making it up as they go along. That's just life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And okay, so talking about the hits and talking about resilience and talking about Lucent Audio. And I'm wondering in your new position if you are, because you are, I wasn't joking when I said the author whisperer. You are, I would trust you. I would write a book and go straight to you just on the basis of the reach outs and the posts and everything. Are you getting more face-to-face time with authors at this point because of that in the
It's
forum for Lucent?
it's coming, like marketing and building your brand out. It's a long term, it's a long process. So there have been authors that are finding me, that are signing with me to do their audiobooks. Most of the volume is coming from partnerships that I have, colleagues that's Waffles. He's saying hi. I don't know if you could hear him. Uh, there's folks that I had worked with at Scribe that went off and set up their own businesses, that have been sending projects my way. I got a couple of different relationships like that right now. Scribe is still sending me their audiobook productions. So it's not, I'm not getting a ton of face-to-face time with authors, but it's as that'll change over time as more, like I had a sales call with an author that was referred to me last night, and we had a great call. He's a Canadian dude, and we're gonna try and make it happen. His book is not, it's not done yet. It's still got some rounds of editing and proofreading to go through, and he wants to do a release at the end of October. And I think I told him that he had to finish recording by September 3rd, and it's going to be close. I don't know if it'll happen or not. But yeah, I love that. That's what, like, my favorite part of this are the talks that I get to have with people, whether it's authors or narrators or just anybody that wants to have a conversation. I'll have a conversation with, and but that's the part I enjoy most.
I have to say I get a little bit like because okay, I book myself really tightly. And so I like to know how to make things go very smoothly. So when something comes up, so I did book one with an author, and then book two, he said, well, I might want like a male for the male part and a female. And I was like, okay, I can find, male. I like working with I like working with a lot of male narrators. And he said, no, I quite family and friends have said perhaps I could read it. And when you're a narrator, your first thought is, hmm, okay, let's find your street. He blew me away, Jeff. And it was the first time I had an experience thinking, wow, producing authors' works, having them narrate their own books. Because he knew it. He knows every single character. He created the nuance. He created the emotion behind it. I mean, the guy's extraordinarily talented. I'm not just saying anyone could jump in, but I mean, he went to a studio and had it done professionally. But he blew me away. I was so proud of him. So is it like that working with authors, helping them do their own books?
It is, and I think what you experience there is not necessarily the norm. I think that dude had, obviously, he had some performance skill sets in him, and
He's
wherever that came
amazing.
from, it came from, and he was able to draw on that. I've worked with authors that just there's no it would be like me trying to narrate an audiobook. Like, I am not a performer, and they're not performers, and sometimes you really have to work with them just to get it as good as it can be.
And
um
let me interject with Jeff. Andrea says Jeff wrote a great article about why authors, for the most part, should use a professional narrator. Yeah, Andrea, that was my immediate thought when he suggested that. I've got to be honest, my heart did stop for a moment. But
it's
you're right. Is it an exception to the rule? Was that
I think when it goes that well, it absolutely is. Like, it is an exception to the rule. I was just working with a dude here in Austin. He's a lawyer, and this project came to me from a friend with a note that said he built a studio in his office. And I was like, let's see about this. So I go to his office and learn that built a
you
studio.
went there? You went to his office.
Yeah, I went to, he's dude is a high-end lawyer here in Austin, wildly successful, really interesting dude. But I go to the office just to see if we can do this in his office studio. And nobody built a studio. He just had somebody that recommended some gear for a podcast, and then they supplied the gear, and that person set the gear up and made it very push and play so that the lawyers and the lawyers' assistants could go in and like literally push the go button and everything turns on and records, and then push the stop button and everything shuts off and stops. And it's like he built it simple for them, but there were no acoustic panels on the walls. Two walls were windows. There was nothing over the windows. They
Definitely
didn't,
not doing punch and roll.
there was no, they didn't record to a DAW. They were
Yeah.
using a Rodecaster with the little disc things. I forget what they're called, but the little disc things that go on the side of a Rodecaster. They were recording to that. So there was no screen where you could see a waveform and do punch with that. So and there was AC that was coming in because they didn't reroute the AC or do anything. Nobody even had that conversation with him. So I wound up renting equipment and going to his office. And the first time I met him, like the first time I went there, I was with his assistant, just trying to see if we could do this. And then I was like, well, let me rent some equipment and come back and do some tests. And I did that. I was like, okay, I think we can make this happen. And the first time that I actually met him was the first day that we were going to record. So I get there, I get everything set up, and he comes in and he's like, "Are you my guy?" And I was like, I don't know. I might be. Are you my guy?" And we decided that we were each other's guys. And he introduced himself, and I introduced myself. And first thing he says to me, he goes, "I think you're being really pessimistic with this 3-to-1 ratio, because that's what I'll recommend to authors that are recording, that we do a 3-to-1 recording ratio. So for every three
What
hours
did
we
he
spend."
think it was going to be?
He didn't know, but he thought I was being pessimistic. And I was like, "Look, this is not about pessimism. This is about years of experience and thousands of audiobooks. And many of those authors narrated themselves. And 3-to-1 is the starting place. That's a sort of an average. I've had authors that work at 2-to-1, like, professional narrators in a pro studio. And I've had authors that work at 6-to-1 or 7-to-1, like a guy I had in a Phoenix studio a couple years ago. You just don't know where it's going to go, and this is your first time doing it, so we'll know more after today about your ratio. Dude wound up killing it, like just absolutely killed it, made very few mistakes, understood what he was trying to do. The performance was there. And coming into it, I'm like, this is a lawyer writing a lawyer's book, so I'm like, this is going to be all textbook legal mumbo. It was none of that. It was actually a really interesting, well-written book on the paths you can take as a law student and why you should avoid big law if it's not all it's cracked up to be, and you should go into plaintiff's law where there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of money to be made, but you can do really great work for your clients. The book is called Fighting Bullies, and that's his whole thing.
Yeah, Kim
He
says lawyers who litigate know how to perform for an audience. But you see, this makes me think of, you see all these rules people tell us when we're in audiobook, and we all memorize them like good little students, because for the most part you need to. Authors shouldn't narrate their own stuff. You shouldn't do this. Don't add music because you're not, it took me like maybe what, 10 years to figure out where to break the rules, because my author was amazing. I mean, you've had your experience, thousands of audiobooks, and this guy knocked it out of the ballpark, right? I
yeah.
think maybe we learn the rules so well, sometimes we forget that there's always an exception.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's always going to be an exception. So I think the way I approach it now is I don't necessarily try to talk an author out of narrating. I just set them up for success. So whatever they want to do, we're just going to adjust the path accordingly. If they want to know the benefits of a narrator versus self-recording, I'll walk them through that. But if they have a desire to narrate, then we're just going to make that as good as it can be. And we're going to set all the right pieces in motion to ensure that it's a positive experience for them, that they have the support they need, that the audio quality is there, and everything goes nice. So I don't, I was talking to a dude yesterday that asked if he could add material on the fly as he narrates his audiobook. And I was like, you can rewrite your whole book on the fly if you want to. Like, I wouldn't suggest that, but this is your book. Do whatever you want. But
Also,
if
if you
you're
have a narrator, don't even try.
yeah, he was gonna narrate himself. But he wanted to add stuff, and I was like, the only thing I would say if you're gonna do that is outline it. Like at the very least, make an outline for yourself, because if you're narrating and you're just gonna get to a spot where you're gonna wing it, there is gonna be such a difference in your delivery that it's gonna take people a minute to adjust. So the more you can stick to a script, the more confident you're gonna be, the more fluid you're gonna be. So if you're not going to write it out, at least give yourself an outline, give yourself some bullet points so you know what it is you want to talk about, and it's not all the ums and ahs and the false starts. Be confident, be strong. So, we'll see how that goes.
I interviewed Fiona Ferris. She does, it's my guilty pleasure style books. How to be chic on a budget, how to be chic in the winter, how to be chic in pretend you're French. And like I just love Fiona Ferris. She always cheers me up. So I interviewed her and then she hadn't done an audiobook. She's from New Zealand, I think, or Australia. I might have that wrong. We'll just edit that part out. But I auditioned for her audiobook and fair enough. It wasn't, she recorded it herself. And she's adorable. And she knocks out like audiobooks like every day now. I don't know how she does it. I swear it's not AI because it's too good to be AI. And she's amazing. She does a better job than like I did after like 4 years of narrating. I mean, she's amazing. So, lesson in humility, Daniela. Okay, let's pivot.
Yeah.
I have a question. I think I've asked you before. I've asked a million people. Their answer has never been satisfying to me. It happened again today. And then I want to ask you about narrators reaching out to you. Does it still happen and all that? But we reach out to publishers. One of the big five publishers, and I sent, if I say so myself, a really charming reach out. And he came back and he said, "Oh, thank you. We'll keep you in mind as they do, and it's been great, blah, blah, blah." Do I then respond and say, "Yes, it's been great. Thank you for responding," or do I just not respond? Because now he sent me this really cheery email, and I don't want to send him too much because they're publishers and they get a zillion emails. But I also feel kind of rude not ever responding to the responses. Are we supposed to respond to the responses?
I don't think I'm the person that you should be asking that question to. Um, I would say go for it, but also like I like that kind of stuff. So that's me. That's my take on it. I don't necessarily want to speak for anybody else. I know producers will feel differently about that, but I don't know if if you want to say something, like I don't think there should be walls.
It
I
feels
think you
like
should.
bad etiquette. Somebody sends you a really nice response and then you don't say thank you.
Right? Like that's how I would feel. That I mean, I respond to the narrators that email me. Sometimes
But
it takes
saying
me a
that, you
minute, but
respond too much, which is why you're my friend now on the show, and I forget to ever send you reach outs because I forget that you're so friendly, you're so nice, which makes me think you must be bombarded by us messaging you. Nicola says, "Say thank you." Thank you. I will. I'm going to from now on because I always feel like such a jerk. I've sent this lovely email. They've sent a lovely email back, and then I just like don't answer. Like, so are we all reaching out to you?
I mean, I don't get there were a lot more reach outs that were happening when I was at Scribe, so I don't know what's going on. I'm still getting reach outs, like as narrators learn about Lucent Audio and that I'm doing my own thing now. Folks are reaching out. They want to get on the roster. They're staying in touch. They're doing the check-ins. So I'm starting to see that build up again. But it's been kind of low key for you know the last couple of months since we've been doing
Kim
this.
was wondering, how do we reach you?
You email me.
Um,
Uh,
is it can they find it easily on, because I can't put the email in the about section because YouTube will then delete
Oh, gotcha.
video. So, is your email or contact on your website?
It should be.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be on LinkedIn, it should be on the website. There's a there's a contact, like there's a page on the website where narrators can just contact, they can send a message, they can book time with me if they want to book time with me. Um, but it's Jeff.Guillot at lucentaudio.com. So just first name dot last name at
What do you mean
lucentaudio.com.
book time with you? For a chat?
Yeah, like you can go on the website and just book time with me.
I just think you should kind of like be president. I Because like you're a really nice person, Jeff. You're like a really nice person. Does that
Well,
save you from jealousy and all the pitfalls? I mean, does your kindness and genuine liking of people save you from negative pitfalls?
like, what do you mean?
Like in this day and age, when you're bombarded with negativity, which is out there, do you not even notice it? Yeah, the Rosemary said, because you're so approachable. Do you not like grumble about people ever or like get pissed off at people in line at
Oh,
Starbucks or I mean, you're just so nice. And I'm just thinking, is it hard work being that nice or was it just explain it. I want to be that nice. I want to not hate the person in line at Starbucks.
I don't know what to say about that. I'm not perfect, you know. There's frustrating experiences that happen all the time, and it's how you deal with it, you know. It's right, like because we're all everybody's battling something, and
Yeah.
living in Texas, you just imagine that everybody has a gun strapped to their side, so it's like you don't really want to start grumbling at anybody because you don't know.
Wait, you would see it, right? They're not allowed to hide it, are they?
This is Texas. You can just have a gun. I don't know if that's true. That's my assumption in Texas, and I live here. Like you can just have a gun. So I assume that everybody has a gun, and that's it. So I'm not gonna go out in public and like mess with people. I don't want to, you know, I like life.
Wow.
But no, to answer your question, like, yeah, the shit happens, you know, somebody cuts you off in the car, somebody's like taking 25, right? There's a great coffee shop here in Texas. They have a coffee, it's not even a shop, it's a coffee truck. They're called Desnudo. And they are like the line for this place, they're in a food park, and the line for this coffee shop, it gets insane. It wraps around this entire food park with all these other food trucks, and it goes out into the street and it goes down the block. Like people are waiting online for probably an hour and a half to get a cup of coffee. Now, their coffee is like really, really good coffee. So I kind
Like,
of get
how
it.
is it that good? Like, what's different about it?
It's just good coffee. It's
Really?
just really good coffee. But you can see like the way they do things, they're not, their system is not dialed in. So when you walk up to take the order, they're going to have a conversation with you for 5 minutes about the coffee, about what you did last night, about how your life is. And it's part of it is they're trying to slow things down, I think. So they're not just throwing coffee orders into the people in the truck. But it's like, you know, you're standing online and you just want a cup of coffee and it takes 45 minutes or an hour or something. It's like, why, right? It can get frustrating. So yeah, I get frustrated, but I don't, it doesn't stay with me. Like I don't, I'm not, I get over it quick.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good trait to have.
Yeah.
Was it through life lessons or always being that way?
I think I was just always that way. I don't ever remember not being that way.
Okay, so if you were ChatGPT, what would you tell narrators we should be doing
I mean,
in general,
you
in
should be narrating
everything?
audiobooks.
No, but in reach outs, in professionalism, career advice, what's your best stuff to throw out to narrators?
So a long time ago, I've mentioned this to some narrators that have asked, but I think it all comes down to networking, and you just got to network. You got to network, and how you network with me is going to be how you network with somebody else, and how you network with them is going to be how you network is going to be different from how you network with somebody else. And there was a book I read a lot of years ago called The Third Door. I can't remember what the author's name is, but a friend recommended it to me. And the deal with this guy is nonfiction, and the deal was that there's always, right, anywhere you go, there's a front door and a back door. But sometimes you can't get into the front door or the back door. That doesn't mean you can't get in, because there's always a third door. You just have to find it. You have to look for it. And his whole book was filled with these stories about how he like rigged the Price is Right. So he was a contestant. He got selected as a contestant on The Price is Right. He went to Warren Buffett's investor thing. He and his buddies bought stock, and they went to the yearly thing he has for the investors in Berkshire Hathaway. And apparently you can ask questions if you're in the audience. So he figured out the system, and he and his buddies went and sat in a part of the arena or wherever it was where there weren't a lot of people, which increased the chances because you can only ask one question. So he brought 5 friends with him or something and gave each of them one of the questions that he wanted to ask, and they all got to ask the questions because they weren't focused on sitting up front. They were focused on where to sit. That increased the chances that they would all get to ask a question. So he has this whole book on creating these opportunities. And I think, yeah, that popped up. I
The
think
Third
that's
Door
it.
by Alex
Yeah.
Banion. Yeah.
I'm not supposed to look at
I know
that.
Jeff's like, I didn't look at the chat. I didn't look at the chat.
uh, that's it. But that's it. So I think for narrators, it's the same thing. Networking is key, and you have to meet with the producers, you have to meet with the casting people, you have to meet with the executive producers, you have to meet with the independent publishers that have audiobook departments. Like anybody that is in a position to hire you, you want to connect with them in a way that is going to be memorable and authentic to both you and them. So it takes some research there because, right, like I don't know how many producers can you just go on the website and book a meeting with if you want to talk to them. I don't think
Like
that's a thing,
none, except
right?
for you. And probably not for long, because the minute anyone sees this call, you're going to be booked out until the rest of your life.
Yeah, like that may change if that happens,
Very
right?
quickly.
But for now, it's all right. And really, there haven't been too many people at all that book it. And the whole reason, right, the whole reason I made that accessible was because when I first launched Lucent, a lot of narrators were filling out the form that authors are supposed to fill out if they want to book a call to say like congratulations or to wish me luck or to wish me success. So all these narrators were throwing themselves onto my CRM, and the CRM is not for the narrators, that's for the sales, right? That's how you manage sales. So I was like talking to my wife. My wife made Lucent Audio look how Lucent Audio looks. She did the web design for it. She made it. She does that stuff.
And can you please tell her from us, wow, what a job.
Uh, I absolutely will.
Yes,
That's
tell her
everybody says that.
she's amazing.
So I was talking to her, and she was like, "Well, why don't you just make? Why don't we? Why doesn't she?" Is really what she's saying. But why don't we have something so that narrators can just send you a message directly or book time with you if they want to book time with you, and then that will get them away from your CRM. And since we've done that, not a single narrator has filled out the form that puts them on the CRM, which is great.
Yeah. But book time with you, like what? Like they just sit down and say,
Like this, like a video chat. We do it on Google Meet. Like there's a I hope that I'm not making this up and it really is there. I mean, I don't know, somebody in the call, go check it out and see if you can book a meeting with me. But I'm pretty sure there's a spot where you can book a meeting with
to
me.
ask you advice and everything.
Just to talk, I mean, they can talk about
Oh
anything.
my God, you're like the loveliest human being on earth. You really, really are. Yep, Rosemary found it.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, so keep your head about you, right? I think
Yeah.
authors, producers, narrators, all of us, keep your head about you. I think the importance of positivity, huge, huge, huge. I got snowed under recently because what I found was if I let myself get too tired or if I let myself get in a, just it just takes one. I found a meme about it the other day because we learn all our best life lessons on memes. And it said, no, you've not had a bad like life. You've had a bad 5 minutes. And you've let that and that is exactly what I did. I had like a bad 5 minutes and started scrolling online and looking for bad news, like looking on websites going, oh my God, people are having dry spells. And then reading blogs and things, people talking about dry spells. Oh my God. And then it's like AI and all and oh my God, you would have thought that I was Kathy in Wuthering Heights, standing by the window, freezing to death.
Yeah,
But like we bring it on ourselves, don't we? By what we choose to pay attention to.
absolutely, absolutely. I had actually gotten away from social media. Like I pulled all the social media apps off of my phone, off the computer. There was nothing. uh, because I was employed and I didn't need it. And then I stopped being employed and had to launch Lucent Audio. And I was like, oh, I guess I need social media again so people can know Lucent Audio. So I got everything back, but it was like a nice break not having anything for a bit. I really enjoyed it. Um, since I've been back, like it's exactly that. Like you're having a moment where you're feeling crappy, or you're feeling good, and you look at the internet, and there's not much good that happens. Um, lately it's just been all Aussie, which is kind of nice because it's not. I mean, it's just all Aussie, so it's like it's just all Aussie.
But you have to ask yourself, like, challenge yourself, like, do I need to change my entire life, or maybe do I need a nap? Like,
You you need a nap. I am a big fan of naps.
it's
I
usually a nap, isn't it?
absolutely.
But it
There
gets
are
all blown out. But then I think what happens is we go online and we read other people's experiences, and the groups are great because they make us feel better. And but they don't make me feel better hearing about other people's scarcity. What it makes me is feel like I'm in chasing mode. I've never been good with the herd. James challenged me on that the other day, but I've never felt safety in the herd. I'm just not that girl. So maybe it's a Gen X thing. But the Gen X, we're famous for, I'm not going to wear the clothes that everyone else thinks is cool. I'm not going to do what everyone else thinks is cool. But where am I going with this? I've completely taken over your interview. Oh yeah.
Keep going. It's all good.
No, but you staying away from social media, you got back in touch with who you are, your value, and then the good things can come to you. And I think when we're on social media, we're paying too much attention to what other people are doing, and then we're chasing, and the good things don't have a chance to come to us because we're so busy running around in circles looking for them, right? We're not
Yeah,
standing still. Rosemary says, Lucent audio narrator submission form. Is there a separate link for chatting with Jeff?
I
Oh,
thought there was.
I think Rosemary
Oh,
might have
oh
found
yeah.
one. Oh, no,
The
Rosemary's put that post, so no.
the
So,
narrator submission form is to
yeah,
join the roster.
we're not doing you a favor here because now we're going to make it really clear how to
Oh,
find a chat with Jeff.
yeah. Oh, this is
Oh, Rosemary
fun.
says that's not her post. Oh, Andrea's added the post.
What's that?
We're really not doing you a favor, honestly, because I have this picture the minute the video comes out, you're going to like send me a message going, Daniela, all
Uh,
I'm doing now is chatting with narrators. Jessie Bickford did that. She did like coaching sessions with
oh,
narrators, and they became so popular. I don't know how she like finds time to make dinner anymore because it's
I've found it. So if you go to the bottom of the website, there's a partnership section and you click on narrators, there's a partnership link. There's a partnership section and there's a narrators link and you click on the narrators link and then in the next thing that pops up, you'll see on the left side narrators that you can book time on my calendar and there's a link for that.
yeah. And Nicola just posted the link, guys. So if you want that. grab it now. So, okay. So we're all working, we're all happy. You've got this thriving up and coming business and your expertise and your thousands of audiobooks. What's your dream for Lucent? Where would you like to see it in the next 5 years?
I That's a great question. So we're being really, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but we're being really, what are we being? I want to keep Lucent to be a boutique experience for authors.
Okay.
I'm not looking to go into competition with the audiobook factories that we all know and love. They can have their 1,000 audiobooks a year. That I'm not looking to recreate that. I lived through that for a lot of years. I don't want the hassle that comes with that. I want this to be a boutique, high-touch experience for the authors that are looking for that in their audiobook production service. So over the next 5 years, I'd love for more awareness to come out about Lucent. I'd love for more authors to find me. I'd love for Lucent to grow and do other things and not just audiobooks. But at the same time, I'm not looking to become the Walmart of anything. I want this to be small. I want it to be a boutique
Bespoke.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah, I
bespoke.
love that. I love that. So you want to be known for your quality
Exactly.
and your hands-on and your customer service and customer care. I love that. It's the opposite direction that the rest of the world is going in, and I think it could be a very, very strong position to find yourself in
I'm trying.
because people are craving that, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have it anymore. I tried to have a conversation with the bank and I almost, oh my God. Like you have to go on the app and like I can't see it. I'm blind. So basically, you can't be over like 20 and like bank or like TV shows. I'm showing my age here now, Jeff. Have you noticed like you'll be in the middle of a thriller and the main plot point, the person will check their text for half a second and you're meant to read the text to
Yeah.
like know what's going on? How am I
Yeah.
supposed to read that? It was half a second. It's like the TV's over there. I can barely read my text. So you're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You're putting the human in, you know, smart, isn't it?
Yeah. When an author comes to Lucent Audio, they are working with me. I am their person from beginning to end. I'm not the sales guy that's going to hand them off to a producer, that's going to hand them off to somebody else. I am the person that puts the team together. I have my post-production people. I have the studios that I prefer to work with. Um, there's, if they want me to direct their sessions, there's an option for that I offer them. If they want to come here to Austin, I have a partner studio in Austin that I'll go. I was literally there a couple of weeks ago making updates to Jeff Woods's book with him, the AI driven leader. We did the book last July and he wanted to make updates this July, and we were in the studio making a bunch of changes to it. I loved that experience with him because this dude literally, I mean, I posted about this, I think, but he literally wrote a book called The AI Driven Leader and understood why you should not have AI narrate your own audiobook.
Well, because the crucial element, and then I've got a really good question for you that's come out, but the crucial element, you're saying that is, and it's what I tell people about working with indie authors. People think the hard part of working with indie authors is going to be getting an indie author to give you the job. The hard part isn't that. The hard part is working with them. You have to work with them. It takes what they want and need is attention. They want your attention. And
Yep.
attention is the most valuable commodity, I think, in society these days. And people want someone to pay attention to them, what they need, which is the opposite, because social media, social, everything digital, stealing our attention. But Rosemary has a really good question, and I'd be interested in this. Do you work with narrators who bring authors?
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you got an author that you, how to, Okay. So I guess I'd want to know more about what you mean, but like I do offer for anybody that refers an author to me, I offer a referral fee that I'll pay out. I had
But if
an
the narrator has already had a deal to narrate for their author, but they don't want to distribute specifically, Rosemary, nod if I'm getting this right, um, or if I'm not, don't nod. But yeah, could you talk? Tell us what you mean. That'd be better.
I have been working with a lovely independent author who just happens to be a great fit and is not a time suck at all. And now there's a new author who she and I are interviewing one another, and I get the feeling that it might be a better fit if she and I went together someplace because she doesn't know anything about distribution. That's not a strong point of mine. And I wondered, like Audiobook Empire does that, if you come and say, here's an author who would like me to narrate, would you take over the ship and steer it
Yeah,
and do it?
yeah,
Uh,
I've had that too.
Oh yeah, yeah, we can definitely do something like that.
that's cool. That's not good to know, right?
That's
Yeah.
great to know because there's only Audiobook Empire. There used to be more, but I think Stephen Cohen, Spoken
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 Realms.
Realms, they do it, but they all have different business models. So if people knew that was available through you, I think it would be hugely helpful because there's a big call for it. It comes up quite often.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a distribution only package that I think is on the website as well. You can take a look at that. Uh, you get a bump if you work with me on just like if you run the audiobook through me for distribution and go with Authors Republic, you'll get a bump on the royalty rate, which is a cool thing.
Thank you for that question, Rosemary, because it's brilliant. Because we could have used you. It was over a year ago for an author. I did the book. I think we ended up with Find a Way. But the only thing with that wasn't ideal is she had to upload it herself. And some authors you would like not to have them have to do
Oh, yeah,
those
no,
things.
no.
So
I
yeah, so
handle
that
that.
is really good. Is that on your website? Like shown on your website? Where, okay, good. Distribution only is what they should look like on your look for.
Yeah, yeah, distribution only.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, that's a lot of narrators. You're going to be so bombarded after this. Andrea has a question. So if we have updates from the time we filled out the scribe roster, should we now fill out the Lucent narrator info?
I love that question. No. If you are like the I okay, so when this happened, I brought the entire department with me to Lucent Audio. So like literally I brought Scribe's roster and it is now Lucent Audio's roster. Um, so if you are on Scribes, you're on Lucent's. If you have any changes you want to make to it, if your information has changed, if you want to update your samples, I don't have a way for you to do that yourself just yet, but you can send me that information and I can make those updates for you.
I love that. Okay. Okay, so in a nutshell, you help authors create beautiful audiobooks. You work
Yep.
with the authors. You give them sound, practical advice. You hold their hand if need be. You can distribute. You work with narrators. You give them sound, practical advice. You hold their hand if need be. You you're basically here for all of us.
That is absolutely.
Yeah.
That is exactly it. This dawned on me some time ago. I don't remember when it was, but I realized this is just a service-oriented position, and I am in service to every single person that I'm working with. No part of this is about me. Uh, and that's just the nature of the work that we do.
But I think that's huge and profound because it's what I found from working with indie authors. And it's also, I was surprised when I started taking them on in addition to publisher books. At first, I was a little bit like, oh my God, this is like another full-time job. explaining this, dealing with this, helping with this, creating this. And now it's the thing I love the most. I wouldn't let go of it for anything in the world. I wouldn't trade. And it's taught me so much as a narrator. Through helping them, I've become better,
Yeah,
right? The more
yeah,
people you help, the more you're able to help.
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So I can see a clear vision of Lucent in 5 years. The expert, the go-to bespoke boutique company that, yeah, I love that. I really love that though. Think about how appealing that is. Do you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
because you can feel your brain kind of calm down just with the thought of what you're doing, as opposed to the lists of new action points and new technology and new things we have to sign up for and new hacks. It's just exhausting. Whereas you're saying, I'll help you.
Yep.
Love it.
That is exactly it. I will help you.
I love it. And I think maybe in working with narrators, in working with indie authors, and for my fellow narrators who like to work with indie authors as well as publishers, I think that's something we should stress. Stop being resistant to the extra work. Oh my God, the 600 emails, and just because when we were new, we were all about that until we learned our lesson. What do you want? I'll do anything for you. You're so excited to get that book. Oh my God. But I think maybe it's time to go back to a little bit of that. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, we will follow your lead, Jeff.
let's do
Jeff, you know what I'm going to ask you here.
it.
If you could leave the audience that's going to be watching this in the next 100 years or so with just, if they take nothing away from this call other than they can reach out to Jeff at any time and have long chats. If they take nothing else away from this call, what would you like them to take away from it? To leave them with? Piece of advice, anything. And authors, because authors watch now too.
Yeah. This is fun. Have fun with it. Be kind, be respectful. And I think specifically for the narrators, I don't know if you saw I posted about this a while ago, but if a producer asks you to audition and then lets you know that you didn't get the job, do not respond with a middle finger emoji. That is not
No, nobody's done
good
that.
for.
Has
Oh
somebody
yeah,
done
somebody
that?
somebody straight up did that to me. I thought it was a joke. I asked them, I was like, "You're joking, right?" And they affirmed that they were not joking. And I was like, "Okay, well, this
No,
conversation's
wait,
over."
wait, wait. They said, no, I'm not joking. Did they give a reason why they're not joking? I mean,
Oh,
I don't understand this.
I don't understand it either. They did explain themselves, but it's when what explanation is going to be valid there? It's I
I
didn't.
truly thought I was better than anyone else in the world, and nobody else deserved a chance except
I,
for me.
I
That's the only
mean,
explanation.
I, that was the gist of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know what? I'm going to remember that next time I'm sending my reach out letters and I'm worried that, oh, maybe I sound too much. Maybe I sound annoying. I'm going to remember that because compared to that guy,
I'm
wow.
not, I have never, like in all my years, I have never pulled somebody off of a roster before that. And then would not, that was my first time pulling somebody off a roster. Like, and I'm sure they were going through some shit. Like, I'm sure they were battling some shit and I'm sympathetic to that. But I was like, I got enough going on here. I don't need that kind of negativity coming
I'm
at
not sympathetic. I'm sorry. I had a massive brain tumor and I was still not a jerk to people. There's just some things you don't do.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, there are just some things you don't do. That's horrible. So lead with kindness.
Yes.
And I'm sorry. How long are you going to be an audiobook narrator if you can't take losing an audition? Because, sorry, that's the job. You're going
Right?
to lose more
It's
than you're going to get.
that's the nature of it. That is the nature of it. I have there's two narrators in particular that I have sent both of them. I mean, I don't do a tremendous amount of volume, but over the course of years, I have sent them a tremendous, not tremendous, but a lot of auditions. A lot of auditions, and I think they are absolutely amazing. I love what they do. I want them to get these jobs. Authors keep not selecting them, and I just keep putting them up there, and they keep getting not chosen. And I'm always gentle with the explanation that they're not chosen, and they're always supportive in their response to that. And it's like that we're gonna keep trying. Like, I want to cast them and stuff. I want to cast everybody and stuff, but it's how many audiobooks am I gonna do? Not doing millions, but it's that's the kind of shit. Like, I'm trying to give people work.
Do you know what? I've got to say though, there's a subtle, I'm going to sound like a kook saying this. I, because of course I've sounded totally sane the rest of this call. But I think auditioning is a dance, and there's a subtle energy in play. And you can go in, and the right jobs really will find you, and the right auditions really will find you. And you can go in and you can immediately get the script and you can audition. And if you had a bad piece of toast that morning and you didn't feel well, or if your sister gave you bad news, I don't care how professional you are and how perfect your voice sounded, there's a subtle, I believe, energy in your presentation and your voice. And that energy goes directly to the author. And the author's energy picks it up. So if they've had a bad day, if you've had a bad day, and because we all hear that you might sound like their mother-in-law. And that's true, and it does make you feel better sometimes. But if you lose auditions for over, like, it starts to feel like too long, you start thinking like, so she hates me. But they all hate me. Everyone hates me. I must look like everyone's mother-in-law. You start to feel like that. And if you've got that energy when you're narrating, when you're recording an audition, it goes through. So if you've put them through for a bunch and they've got that feeling of worry or of why have I not been doing well, they could get a job tomorrow from another source they didn't expect at all and bag the audition in 2 seconds flat.
Yep.
Because they're not carrying any of that worry. But if you've been trying for something and the author didn't like you, and then try something else and the author didn't like you, there's an energy tag to every single try and miss.
Yeah.
And that energy, everything we do carries energy, and more than actors. Because human beings, from hearing your mother's voice from the minute you're born, we are attuned to voices and to every single thing behind that voice. And every listener is attuned to every single thing behind that voice. And we're human beings. So no technique in the world is going to corral all that all the time. That's why it's magical when it does work.
Yep.
And it's rare, more rare than we want it to be. So like I've got this feeling because recently I went through that again. We all go through it a million times. Whereas you do audition, 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 and you've got in your head a mental idea of like how long you'll wait before you bag one. Sometimes it goes a little longer than that. You start getting a little bit nervous. Then you start getting more nervous and you start thinking, I'm a failure. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay the mortgage. And you're hyperventilating, still auditioning. But I've been thinking about that. I've been playing with that. And so there's nothing you can do for those two narrators because every single time an author rejects them, it's adding to the energy tag. Whereas, so all you can do is like the best you can.
That's it. Just keep putting them up for the opportunities. Like something's gonna hit at some point, and I'm sure they're getting work other places.
Yeah.
And that's it.
They are getting work because we all are. That's what we
Yeah.
have to do, So I think my best advice in the whole world to every narrator is tomorrow, if you're feeling like insecure about auditions, put yourself in a really good mood, whatever that means. I don't care what you have to do to put yourself in a really good mood, and then audition for two things that you like, but you absolutely should not take.
I love
Serious,
that. I love
like
that.
something that won't pay anything. Like there's no way you have time to do, and you're way overqualified for. Audition for them and see what happens. Seriously, as a test, I guarantee you'll bag them, both of them.
I'm gonna try that.
It feels good. Then you've got a little win under your belt and you get a little bit cocky about it. It feels good. Just don't say yes because Jeff, this has been a breath of fresh air.
Indeed.
I would
Indeed.
sign up for your chat with Jeff thing, but I'll just ask you back on another cup of Joe call. Like I'm going to be chasing you, like you're going to be like 99 years old with, you know, wrinkles. I'm going to be like, Jeff.
Looking forward to it.
So be kind and don't flip off producers and publishers that have done thousands of books and could get you future work. Not a good
Yeah.
idea.
I mean, maybe just don't flip off anybody,
I
it's
know,
not
not
like
nice.
that's not a way to go
Tacky.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, inappropriate. Inappropriate. You're the best. You're absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. And you guys, thank you to the wonderful audience. Mwah!
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Daniela. Always a pleasure to be here.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jeff. Bye.
Thank you.